Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we are live in the Digital Marketing for Travel Professionals Facebook group. Thank you so much for joining today. Just waiting for Shelly to join us. And there we go. And we got ourselves live on Facebook. We got ourselves live on Twitter. So super excited to get Shelly in here. I know she was having some trouble with her microphone. Hopefully she's going to be able to figure that one out in a few seconds here. So today we're going to be talking about how to run a Facebook contest. And I think before we get started with Shelly, we should add a little bit of context to this chat. Oh, there she is. There's Shelly.
Hey.
Hey, there you are. You made it.
I figured it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shelly, for joining today. I know you're pulled over on the side of the road right now.
I am. Yeah, it was a busy morning. I was actually meeting with a supplier doing some product training this morning.
Nice.
So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I definitely think it's worth getting into the weeds on the recent contest you ran. But before we get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about Facebook contests in general. And a lot of people may be wondering, what's the point of running a Facebook contest? Well, Facebook is the most popular platform in the world in terms of attention. So there's a large portion of your target audience that's living on that platform. And, for us specifically in our business, we've ran some really good contest campaigns and we've run some really bad ones, some of the best ones. And I find, and I don't know if you can probably agree with me on this, Shelly, but the easier the ask, the more people you're going to get to engage, obviously, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
We've had contests in the past where we've had people, like our Instagram page, like our Facebook page, and drop a picture in the comments below for a chance to win. And nobody ever does it. You're going to get maybe half a dozen. But in some of our cases, we've ran charity contests where we've done $1 a like, and those have worked out really, really well, almost too well, where you get up to a certain price point and the business owner's like, oh, hold on. It's like, I don't have $1,000 to donate to this charity. So, but that's kind of a good problem to have, I guess. But anyway, without further ado, Shelly, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your business and how you got into your travel agency to start with.
Okay. So I kind of almost fell into it or got pushed into it, I guess. I have always loved traveling, and for me, the planning of our trips was as much fun as actually going on the trips. So one of my friends one day said to me, like, you're crazy. You could be making money doing this with how much time you spend just researching and that side of it. So that's kind of how I got into it. So I am a home-based agent. Sorry, the angle's bad here. Home-based agent with Go Travel. So I focus mainly on Mexico, the Caribbean, South America, South Pacific. So warm destinations, but also destinations that have lots of off the beaten path adventure type destinations for people to explore. That often get missed in the mass market travel sales of all-inclusives. So that's my passion, is digging in and experiencing the cultures. I believe that's one of the best things about travel, is that it unites us and it teaches us about how other people live and experience the same planet that we all share. So that's all about me.
That's cool. That's awesome. And obviously it's always good, diving down into a passion. And I find that even just selling my own business, it's like, I like to think people purchase from me because they see the passion I have for what I do. And it's so true. It's like, I find that if you're in an industry where you're incentivized by the monetary gain that you get by selling, it's just people see through that now. You know what I mean? And if you're truly passionate about whatever it is you're selling, I find it just works in tandem with the goals you're trying to accomplish. And talk a little bit about the audience that you're after and that kind of niche group that is your target audience.
Yeah, I agree. you start to be known for that, and people start reaching out specifically because they know not only are you passionate about it, but that passion leads to more knowledge and more research and connections and all of those things that kind of come along with that passion.
Absolutely. How about your target audience, Shelley? Who is the audience that you're after? Who's your ideal client?
So for me, I kind of go two different ranges. I have the young 18 to 30 somethings that are just loving adventure, and I find that age group really loves to experience the world as opposed to just go somewhere. And then the opposite end of that would be kind of more your baby boomers, that they have the time now to actually dig in and really explore a place in full detail, as opposed to just a week here and just kind of hit the surface.
Cool. Now for this specific contest that you're running, and we'll get into the details in a second, but what was the goal of the contest? I always say the first time or when you first initiate a contest, you need to map out what is that goal. Do you want leads? Do you want likes, engagement? For you and for this contest, what was the ideal goal?
So I've ran contests in the past, and my goal has typically always been more just to get known, to get out there, for people to find me. With this one, it was totally different than any of the other ones I've run, and it was actually pretty successful. So I'm happy with what I decided to do this time. But my ultimate goal this time was really to gain some followers to my page that are fairly local to me. And so that's kind of why I chose the reward or the prize that was offered. Also because the prize had an opportunity for me to actually add a booking potentially to it as well. So it worked out really well.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that now. How your location, where you're located, and the giveaway that you had.
Okay, so I am located, out of central Alberta. So the Rockies are our backyard, and it's ski season. And so one day I had been in Costco shopping actually for Christmas, and they have always those 2-for-1 ski passes or free ski passes, or Costco famous for all their little gift cards. So I grabbed some ski passes off of the rack at Costco, which cost me less than $100 for 2 ski passes to somewhere local. And that was my prize. And I thought, worst case scenario, it was cheap. And best case scenario, I booked someone a weekend in Banff. So
that's cool. That's awesome. And it definitely, in some cases, I think you can probably even reach out to the facility or to the ski hill in this case, and maybe they would even sponsor, something like that. I mean, if you use this as a case study, you could probably go back there and they could potentially give you passes for the next one that you run. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I made sure I tagged them. So
Of course. A lot of people forget to do that, though, especially when you're posting on social. It's anytime you have an opportunity to tag another business or a person, you're just going to get more organic reach, especially if they share that content. Right.
Right.
So now talk a little bit about, because this was not your standard one post type of contest. You had a series of posts and this kind of sort of a point system thing going on. So maybe you can explain a bit on how you did that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd mentioned that I had tried to do some contests in the past, and I couldn't get anything to bite. So I thought, we had just gone through an insane cold snap here that was like 2 weeks of minus 40 degrees. And I thought, we just need to kind of see the end of January. And so how do we kind of celebrate, winter in Alberta, and surviving winter in Alberta with some fun? And it was mid-January, and I thought, we've got 2 weeks left. Let's do a contest that, one, I have a contest every day, because then it forces me to get into the habit of posting something consistently, as well as it's not just a quick one like, share, comment, whatever, and then it's over. It was really getting people to consistently come back to my page, to stay engaged. And so I had a different kind of activity, let's say, for each day. And each one was a certain number of points. So most of them were just a point a day. Some of them where I asked people to do something a little bit more difficult or multiple steps. They got a point for each step. So
what's an example of one of those posts where somebody would get a point?
Okay, so the one that actually was really good, got a lot of feedback, was share some of your favorite, like your travel tip. What's a travel tip that you have? And I got a ton of comments on that compared to what I would normally get whenever I try and engage with people on my page. A lot of the time I'll post something for engagement and then get like a like, but no comments or anything. So I was actually really happy with that one. And then we kept it going because I responded to each one, like each comment, and I'd respond and say, it's a great idea, and did you think about this, or stuff like that.
That's that right there. What you're explaining is fuel to the Facebook algorithm, right? Because immediately when you have that kind of engagement, Facebook loves it. And especially when you're commenting back to each comment that people leave, not just liking it,
Right.
that stimulates that algorithm and tells Facebook, this is a good post and we should get this post out to more people. And that's obviously what happened with that post in comparison to the ones that were only getting maybe one like. It probably was like an image, not really a post people would engage with in terms of comments,
Right.
but I think that's where this one kind of you hit fire with this one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would happen is somebody would leave a comment on a post, and how many days did this run over the series? How many days?
It was 14 total.
14 days, and you were posting something every day for people to get points.
Yes.
Okay, and how are you tracking all of these people and their points?
It's silly and simple, but it was just an Excel spreadsheet, and every day that someone new joined in, I added their name to my spreadsheet and had just the 14 days across the top, and put a point in, or 2 points or whatever it was that they earned, and had it calculate over at the end.
Very
It
cool.
was simple.
Very cool. Okay, and now Shelly, how did you go about choosing the winner?
So part of the contest rules that I had laid out at the very beginning was participate as per the post, and whoever at the end has the most points wins. If anyone tied, then it would have been drawn by random generator. And so I didn't actually have a tie. I had a clear winner. I had one person who participated every single day except for one, and including on like the ones that were 3-pointers or 2-pointers. So she won by 1.5 points, basically. I gave someone a half point because they had attempted to do what I had asked, and it still, provided value to the post for me, but it wasn't quite there. And they would have gotten a full point if it would have tied them, but it didn't tie them. So, and then I just had a coworker review the list and audit the findings for me, and then we announced it that way.
Very cool. So throughout the process, did people know whether or not they were close to the lead, or would they have to manually go back and count all the comments from the previous post? Or were you like updating each week, like we have so-and-so in the lead? And
I wasn't. I wanted to, and I was so busy, and it was just too much, almost too much for me for the first time where it was successful like that I just didn't have the time. And there was days where it was like, oh shoot, I still have to get in and get that post up so that people can participate. And there was actually one day that completely got away from me. And I don't know if you noticed that one, but it had completely gotten away from me. I didn't have time, personal life got in the way. And so then it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I quickly jumped on. I posted an apology saying, I'm really sorry. Spent some time with my husband before he goes back to work today, and I will do 2 posts for tomorrow. To make up for it. And even that, like, people were so engaged in following along that alone got a whole bunch of comments and likes and, enjoy your time and stuff. And then the next day, both posts were a big hit. So it worked out well. Because
you're being a real person. You're real. You know what I mean? People love when you can evoke emotion just by being vulnerable sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Works really well. That's awesome. So that's good. You're consistent. And that was the key as well. You're consistent the entire time. I think one opportunity, I think that the next time you run this type of a contest, you should connect it to what's called ManyChat. And ManyChat is like chatbots.
Okay.
Not necessarily to create this sort of a sequence, but what you can do is you can set it up so anybody that comments on a post becomes a subscriber to your bot. So you can, if you have a new travel deal or something new that you want to push, you can use kind of that platform Messenger to send it out to all of your subscribers. And
very cool.
Especially when you're getting the amount of engagement and comments that you're getting, it's a good opportunity to do that.
Right.
So now now this is always a question that always businesses ask is, when it's time to give the actual person the prize, how did you go about doing that? Did they come by your office? Did you send it in the mail? How does that work?
So it was actually someone from my hometown, or not my hometown, but where I live now. And so she actually works at the library. And so I had announced it on Facebook that this was the winner. And so then I messaged her and just asked what was convenient for her. She actually hadn't gotten back to me and hadn't seen that she had won. But I stopped in at the library while she was there and gave her the prize. And it worked out really well because there was a whole bunch of people in the library at the time. And so she was ecstatic. And
nice.
So that was added bonus.
That's awesome.
And then I also did the person who got the 1.5 less, the second kind of runner-up person. I gave her just a Starbucks gift card. We have co-branded Starbucks gift cards that I usually include with clients' packages. So it always kind of says, have a coffee on me while you're waiting for your plane. And so I had messaged her and said, you know what, thanks so much for participating. I truly appreciate it. So I'm going to send you a gift card. So she lived further away. So I just got her address and mailed it off to her.
That's brilliant. That's amazing. And it was unexpected too, right?
Yeah.
That's super cool. Now, I'm curious on follow-up. So you have this spreadsheet with all these names on it of people that have engaged. Do you have any means for following up with them? Maybe like hey, sorry you didn't win the contest. Stay tuned for the next one. Is there any sort of process that you have on your end to follow up with them?
So I've sent all of them messages and asked them if they wanted to be added to my mailing list. Because I do send out monthly emails through Ensemble, actually. So I send those out. And so I asked if any of them wanted to be added. And a few of them have come back already and said, yeah, here's my email address. You can go ahead and add me. I've had a few that have already sent me requests for quotes. So that's been a huge bonus as well. Wow. So I've already got them now in my system for good. So
that's amazing. That's good. Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Okay. Well, I mean, that's, I know you're busy and I know, and I appreciate everybody who came to watch today. I know a lot of people are probably going to watch the playback. If people want to reach out to you, Shelly, what's the best way they can get in touch?
They can send me a Facebook message, either to myself at Shelly McCubbing or to my travel page is Go Travel with Pity Mum. The easiest way to search it is at Pity Mum Travels in the search bar. And you'll find it that way. And either one of those, you can get a hold of me, or you can send me just an email at it's Shelly SHELLEY.M@GoTravelCompany.com.
Awesome, Shelly. This has been a pleasure. Thank you so much today for joining us.
Thanks, Jason. It was fun, and we'll tune in 30 minutes here for you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody there for tuning in this week. We're going to try to have a new guest, a special guest on each and every week that's going to bring you guys some value in your digital marketing journeys to help you generate more leads, more engagement, more likes, and all that jazz. So stay tuned. And if you have any questions, always feel free to leverage this group as a group to ask any sort of questions you might have. Maybe you need inspiration on a certain ad that you want to run, or contest, anything related to digital marketing and social media, we're here to help you. So looking forward to seeing you soon. And I believe my next presentation with Ensemble U is on the 13th, 12th or 13th. The next one, which is happening next week, we'll be diving into Facebook advertising. And, I'm going to kind of try to dumb it down a little bit. We can really go into the weeds with Facebook advertising, but I'm going to try to make it high level, for you guys. And then if there are any advanced questions that you guys have, we can always leverage this group for those questions. Okay, so until next week, take care. We'll talk to you soon.